Hello there, my name is Amanda Woolston, and I'm also known as the Declassified Adoptee. Also, you're just gonna hear my dog throughout this video. Like, he's getting into the cat food, he's just everywhere. You're just gonna hear from him, and that's just how, I'm sorry. It's just the dog. I can't. I tried talking to him about it. I said, can you behave? No, he's not gonna behave. Just not. So I'm sorry. I am a licensed master social worker who has been writing and speaking and teaching about adoption for over a decade now. It all started with a blog, and now I have a YouTube channel where I try to upload every Tuesday. In these uploads, I explore concepts that I wrote about originally on my blog, sometimes years ago. And sometimes I spill some adoption related tea about what was going on in adoption activism at the time that I originally wrote each piece. I give you updates about what I think about these topics now. If that sounds good to you, hit that like button, comment, and please subscribe. It helps your adoptee content creators out a great deal when you remember to do this when you discover our stuff online. Last week, I covered 10 of my 20 activism tips. These 20 tips came from a blog post that I published in 2013 originally, and then I looked at it again with renewed eyes in 2020, after 11 years as an adoption activist. I look over the remaining 10 tips of those 20 with you today in this video. Number 11. Be wise with your emotions. There's a psychological bias called reactance. This is the tendency for people to recoil and resist anytime they think that their freedom is being restricted or they otherwise think that they're being told what to do. This can come into play when we tell a legislator or other power holder how they ought to think or feel about our cause. Remember, your words and your story speak for themselves. Those things will bring up authentic emotions in your listeners. When your listeners' emotions resonate with what you're asking them to do or how you want them to vote, for example, they are highly more likely to follow through. Number 12, try not to set yourself at odds. Maybe legislators and other power holders on an issue have given you every reason to walk into a discussion feeling unsupported and like they just simply won't agree. There's no chance that they'll agree with you. Then why bother to try at all? You're there because it's possible for change to be made. So try to walk into meeting spaces with the expectation that change is going to happen. You're just waiting for everybody else to get on board with that. Number 13, know your audience. Stay current on your issue and also other issues that your issue may intersect with. Educate others about your issue and also brush up on what's important to them. Is there any common ground between issues that you both are passionate about that will help them see your issue your way? When I worked with other activists in Pennsylvania on the law that would increase the access of adult adoptees to their original birth certificates, we did our background homework research, thoroughly. We made a spreadsheet of every single legislator in office at that time. And then we researched any and all connections that we could find that any of them had to adoption. We even asked people who knew these legislators what connections they had. And then we sent them personalized correspondence. Eventually, a legislator who is himself an adoptee then sponsored our bill. Number 14, use your story wisely. A single story will not speak for every person that faces a given issue. For example, when I'm advocating for change in areas of adoption policy that impact step-parent adoptees or foster care adoptees or adopted at older ages, my story as a private domestic infant adoption adoptee won't always provide the insight needed to help them. Our reasoning for our activism cannot be circular back to ourselves. We need to do the research that informs us broadly about our issue. We need to have evidence for the things that we're asking for or saying are true. Use research and statistics to pull back the lens and broaden your focus to help people more effectively and to help people see the issues more broadly. Number 15, have a bottom line. Legislators, and I'm sure other power holders too, are accustomed to being told that something is wrong or that it's broken or that it should be changed. But they don't always get to hear how something can be fixed. And really, they shouldn't be left to their own devices on that. The solution for an issue should come directly from the people who are most affected by that issue, the community that deals with this issue on a daily basis. Don't be afraid to say what you want. Number 16, stay on task. In my experience, one thing that happens when talking to legislators is that they can get uncomfortable, maybe with new information or highly emotional information, and they're prone to distracting themselves. And also, sometimes once they realize that I'm knowledgeable about things that are beyond adoption and may touch on other work that they do, they start asking me my opinion on those other things that I didn't come and meet with them for. Some legislators I have worked with seem to be more oriented towards being leaders than listeners. And yes, it's even though good leaders are also good listeners. That's beside the point. Anyway, I have a legislator that I meet with pretty regularly who is not in his comfort zone when it's not a topic that he understands. And he will change the subject so that he can talk to me about topics that he's more confident about. So bringing printed goals and objectives can help keep everyone on track. It can help with that. It helps keep everyone focused and also helps with time management for meetings. Number 17, respect yourself. Open to other points of view, but don't underestimate your own work and knowledge on an issue simply because it's not being appreciated or reinforced by those around you. Today, of all days, I have not had this comment made to me in the longest time, but someone legit insulted my adoptive parents because I suggested that someone's access to their family of origin is a basic human right online somewhere. Because it is. Like, that's written down and stuff by important people. Anyway, you know the comment that I must only have the opinions that I do because my adoptive parents made some sort of mistake. I used to let that fly and just get focused on defending my parents, but not anymore. I've been doing this for 11 years. If blaming my parents, whom you have never met before, for the fact that I know what human rights are is the worst thing that you can come up with to say back to me about a point that I'm making, I'm doing pretty good. Number 18, get comfortable. I was informed by colleagues during my master's program that I apparently have the ability to enter a room where I am new or otherwise have limited power and sit there like I've always just sat there, comfortable, like I belong. I thought this was funny because I have never felt like I have belonged in most places where I've been throughout my life. I guess those experiences are paying off. Find ways to make yourself comfortable in the types of advocacy that you're doing. Letters, email blasts, online, in person. You will bring ease to fellow activists that are more nervous, and you'll unnerve your opponents, apparently. Number 19, don't lose hope. Time spent advocating for your community and for yourself is never wasted. Even if the final product is not yet achieved, you're not wasting your time. Maybe legislative change is your final product and it didn't happen yet this legislative session. You didn't fail. Every initiative has an education period of time where decision makers have to kind of stew over new information and like incubate a little bit. You planted seeds that may need more time to grow. Don't lose hope. Take breaks when you need to, but never give up on yourself. Number 20, pay it forward. Not only do I expend labor with not often a whole lot in return as an activist, others do too. And sometimes others have expended labor in ways that have helped me so that I could save my energy. Reciprocate. And also show up for other causes. I've had so many friends who have supported my adoption stuff for years without having much more of a direct connection to adoption other than me. So you want me to donate to your birthday fund for breast cancer? Sure. Your daughter is selling Girl Scout cookies? Yes, please. Also, like, who says no to Girl Scout cookies anyway? So that wraps up this massive list of 20. If you didn't get to see the first 10, check out the link in the description box below. Also, let me know the ways in which that you advocate. Is there anything on the list that I did this week or last week that you've been doing all along and that you already use? What's already working for you? As always, please comment, like, and subscribe. Please share this video, and I will see you guys all in a week. Bye, guys.